Hey everybody, Dom here. On September 24th, 2020, the game Left 4 Dead 2 was updated. It was a major update titled The Last Stand Update, and it contained many changes. Most notably, it contained exploit fixes. 8 days after the update was released, there was another one. On October 2nd, a new update launched that undid some of these exploit fixes. Today, I'd like to discuss what was changed, talk about the logic behind changes being undone, and the implications. To begin with, not all changes were undone. The Last Stand update patched out many exploits from the game. Because of the update, exploits pertaining to skipping final sequences on campaigns were fixed, and they remain fixed. The October 2nd update mainly re-added exploits used to skip crescendo sequences in the game. The patch notes for the October 2nd update read, move 64 exploit blocks to versus only, most notably, Dark Carnival 3 Coaster, Parish 5 Bridge, and Dead Air 2 Crane. Let's examine these spots in greater detail. On Dark Carnival's third map, it's possible to climb the roller coaster's frame and skip having to click the button to alert the horde. On the Parish's final map, it's possible to climb to a higher level of the bridge near the end and skip a long sequence full of infected. On Dead Air's second map, the lowering the dumpster sequence can be skipped. All of the quirks in level geometry that allowed players to skip these sequences were fixed with invisible walls, and then were reverted in the October update, excluding in versus mode where they remain. This is quite a strange situation. Fixing something only to undo the fixes later on is probably a rare occurrence in game development. Why were exploits patched out of the game only to be re-added to the game? Did people complain to the Last Stand update developers? Maybe people felt that removing these exploits was a way for the developers to force their way of playing the game onto the players. But don't they have the right to do that? They got Valve's blessing to update the game, so shouldn't they be able to implement something that makes the game less buggy? Another way to look at this situation: is the preservation of bugs justifiable because people have nostalgia for using them? If the original developers back in 2009 knew that it was possible to skip large portions of maps, they probably would have fixed it so that it wasn't possible. Why not continue with the logical extension of their will and remove the exploits today? Perhaps it all comes down to prioritizing what's more important. Is the fun people get from the feeling that they've outsmarted the game by doing a few jumps to skip a coaster event, for example, more important? Or is the game that contains fewer bugs more important? Why was versus mode the exception? Why was these fixes kept for versus mode? Versus mode pits two teams against each other. It's competitive. In a competitive environment, one team could be at a disadvantage if they don't know of or don't use cheesy strategies that circumvent the intended design of a map. If the optimal strategy on the map is to do something difficult and dangerous that not everyone can reliably pull off, the game becomes less fun. No one benefits from a metagame where players must master tricky jumps to do well. Cheesy strategies also feel bad to play against. If one team goes through a hold your ground crescendo event and the other team bypasses it entirely, the first team's gonna feel cheated. It's reasonable to keep exploits out of versus mode. It's good that these fixes were kept for this mode. What about people who speedrun Left 4 Dead 2? They benefit from exploits that speed up the game, so they must prefer these specific exploits existing. On the contrary, in higher levels of speedrunning, people running older versions of games to take advantage of exploits is commonplace. With the right technical know-how, it's possible to run older versions of Left 4 Dead 2 and take advantage of any exploit. Basically, implementing exploit fixes is a non-issue for speedrunning in the game. Just a large inconvenience. Anyways, that was the video. Time to break the fourth wall! Hey, person watching, I'd love to hear your opinion on this entire situation. Should things remain how they are, or should things be changed? Was it correct to remove the fixes from everything outside of versus mode play? Tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Au revoir.